Paltrocast.
Tom, Eileen, Daniel, not necessarily in that order, but thank you all for doing this. And the first question I have, I'll throw it to Eileen, and then Tom and Daniel, if you don't mind answering the same thing, that'd be wonderful. Eileen, was there a highlight for you in making this series?
Oh, such a good question. This is literally what we've been talking about between the things. Oh, so many. Let me think of one. I have to say one of my favorite things of the whole series was filming a scene with Tom and Jamie Beamish, who plays Andrew. And it was when he came back in the next day. And I had so much fun doing that scene. I know it was really serious and but it was just one of those things that, and it was so late at night and they had a big light up and it had attracted every tiny bug from wherever we were. So like the outside light had this, but it was actually all the bugs on it. And yeah, it was a real highlight of the whole job filming that. And then a funny thing, like just being in the wagon and getting to go on that whole trail and the experience of the journey itself was just super special. I got excited. I said two. I was cheeky. Sorry.
That was a wonderful answer. Question goes to Tom next, and then we got a double header for you, Daniel, after that. Tom, highlight for you in making Billy the Kid?
I mean, similarly, it's so hard to pick one. It was such a joy of a job. I mean, the horses for me, I never thought of myself as a pony boy or a horse boy, but I am now like completely in awe of those animals. I love them. I love working with them. I want every job I do to be a horse job. So any directors out there making anything to do with horses, yeah, reach out. But no, if I had to pick one moment, it would be, I mean, the one that sticks out is Kathleen's death scene. No offense, Eileen. It was very hard hitting, and this is no comment on not wanting to work with Eileen. But yeah, when Eileen left, that was the best moment for me. That scene for me was like, I mean, every scene I had with Eileen was like a masterclass, and I told her this, and I'm probably never going to stop singing your praises, Eileen. But I left that scene, and I hope audiences leave that scene feeling the same way. But I left feeling, physically changed by it, honestly. And sure. I've dealt with family loss in my life, and it brought back. It felt so real and so authentic. And Eileen does such a beautiful job with it that I left and had to walk for half an hour and just walked off into the hills and to process. And as an actor, sometimes the moments that stand out to you aren't the moments of like laughing and joking. Sometimes they're the really difficult moments that teach you about yourself. And I came out of that feeling weirdly like I'd processed a lot of stuff that I'd been holding for a long time. And I think that's a testament to Michael's writing too, in that he writes such authentic relationships.
So putting words in your mouth, people got along on the set and people loved the craft. The humanity. Daniel, can you share a favorite moment, experience, highlight, etc. as well?
It's funny just listening to these guys talk about it. I mean, there's a million things that go through your mind. There's so many, we had moose walk through a set one day. We had a lame mountain lion to keep an eye out for. I mean, we had different climates. We had most spectacular landscapes. I mean, there's just so many. I'm kind of like Tom. The horse riding for me was probably one of the most. I think I've waited a long time to do a story where I got to be on a horse. I grew up sort of racing horses back, as a kid, and
wow,
I stopped riding for many years, and so coming back onto this was at least 15 years where I hadn't ridden. To me, it was like being a kid again. It was. I can't tell you just how. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't think I was going to tell. Like it was going to be like a meaningful thing, like Tom's, but it kind of was. It was really profoundly meaningful to come back to getting to do something that I truly loved. I mean, I used to just we used to play tag on the horse with my sisters, and we used to race. Like, I just have so many formative memories of that. And on set, we were chasing 100 longhorned cattle across the prairies, across, you know, swamps and through forests and up and down hills with big holes in the ground. I mean, across rock beds. I mean, what's amazing about doing this sort of thing is that you can't act. It's not about acting. It's literally about staying on the horse and surviving, and, you know, not steering a longhorned cattle at your co-star. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of times where I was like, I think I've killed Tom. He's about to get pummeled by a cow. It's just so thrilling. I mean, there was only maybe 10 wranglers, and so Tom and I would have to, after every take, ride across Canada's prairies and go and capture the cows again to do another take. I mean, it doesn't get more freeing than that. It was so beautiful.
Well, following up on that, Daniel, which required more prep, your role in Billy the Kid or portraying Vince Neil?
The same, different. I mean, like, there's physical things. There was the singing part for Vince, and Vince was a lot. I'll put it that way. Vince was a lot. This was more historical research, and just exploring my imagination and the period. You know, I didn't know anything about the American West. Somehow it's just a part of history that I never bothered to look at. And so just looking at the formation of America and the Civil War and the Reconstruction, and then sort of onto the Gilded Age. I mean, it's that I really love that process. It was that
reaffirms the old thing about non-Americans know more about American history than Americans do, because all I know about from the West is watching film and television projects. Eileen, a lot of studies or historical research for you for this project, or did you just let the script guide everything?
I think I looked a little bit into the history because we are playing real people, which to me blew my mind to start with, because I thought of Billy the Kid as fictional, a roguish person that I was rooting for, but nevertheless, I didn't realize that he was the son of Irish immigrants. But for me, I think Michael's script was the main tool for me moving forward, and how I really got into the role or approached the part. Because I wanted to bring it from being other to straight to being really here and present and relatable and understand it and things like that. So Michael furnished us with like the most incredible script that was rooted in such humanity that it was a real gift to have that. And that was the main thing that I did work from.
And before I let you guys go, Tom, same question at you. A lot of historical prep needed, or just the script guided the process?
Yeah, I think when you start with the process of portraying someone who's historical and who was alive, you at least for me, I always feel a kind of pressure to honor them, or not a pressure, a responsibility is a better word, a responsibility.
Obligation.
An obligation, yeah, but also responsibility, because you can't help but think, if I were this person being portrayed in 150 years from now, I would want someone to do right by me and tell my truth. That being said, you know, every account out there that is supposedly a historical account is also written by people who had a certain opinion of him. And so there's a lot of opinion in it. And so you read it and each of them kind of differs a little bit. And so what you get is this like many faces of Billy the Kid. And as an actor, in a way, that's freeing, because you kind of put a lot of pressure on yourself to read the history, do the research, which you do. And then at a certain point, there's a realization where you have to just find your own version of it. You have to honor him as best as he speaks to you as a person. And so, yes, it starts with the books, but then for me, it was really about taking a pilgrimage down to Lincoln County in Fort Sumner, where he's buried in New Mexico. And for me, that was the most grounding, kind of rooting experience that made me empathize with him fully, because I could see, I mean, a lot of those places have barely changed. Lincoln is still one way in, one way out town. And a lot of the buildings are still there in the same place that they were. You can see the turret that they defended Lincoln from. I mean, it's like palpable, you know. And then you learn to ride and you learn to shoot, and before you know it, you feel him with you. So it's a mix of historical research and then just embodiment and finding the physical attributes of the person. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you all on a masterful experience and job, etc. Looking forward to everything that's next from all of you, including Billy the Kid season 2. So Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Paltrocast.